If you're sitting on close to $1 million and you think that that's enough to retire, you need to hear what happened to two people with the exact same amount, the exact same income need, and two completely different retirements. One of them is going to work out just fine. The other one is going to white knuckle every market downturn for the next 20 years. And the difference has nothing to do with how much money they saved. I'm going to show you what it is and how to know which one you are in the next 8 or 9 minutes here. So let me start with our two retirees. We're going to keep this super simple today. Let's say that both retirees are 63 years old. Both of them have $1 million saved in their retirement accounts. Both will get $2,500 a month in Social Security, and both of them need $6,500 a month to live. So they need $4,000 a month to come from their portfolio to make the retirement that they want. On the surface, these people look almost identical, but underneath the hood, their retirements are about to be completely different. We're going to kick it off with Jim. Jim did all the right things. That's how he ended up with $1 million. That doesn't happen by accident. But let's rewind the clock a little bit and show how he got here. At 45, he was still investing for growth. He had a 70-30 portfolio. 70% of his money was in the stock market, 30% of it was in bonds. This was all future money, and so it was invested accordingly. And every time he opened his statement, the number looked a little bit better, and so he assumed, hey, I've got a good investment plan. And to be fair, he did have a good plan, but he had a good plan for growing his money. The problem is that underneath it, every time his account grew, the danger to his retirement grew as well. Stocks out-earn bonds, and so when that good market shows up, while he was only looking at the balance going up, what made up that balance kept getting riskier and riskier. And so over time, the stock in his portfolio grew faster and faster than his other assets, making the account more and more aggressive. His 70-30 portfolio slowly turned to 75-25 and then 80-20. And at this point, I'll show you some numbers on the screen here using historical results. A 70-30 portfolio in 2011, if left alone, by the end of 2025 would have been almost 90-10, 90% stock money. That's dangerously aggressive at any age. But for somebody who's about to start pulling income from that portfolio, it's a disaster waiting to happen. We're going to see that here in just a few minutes. The worst part of all was that Jim didn't feel like he had made some aggressive decision at some point. He didn't wake up one morning and say, you know what? I'm going to take a lot more risk right before retirement. It just happened quietly inside of his portfolio while he wasn't thinking about it too much because the balance kept growing. He thought he was in good shape. And here's the issue, because this same portfolio that was built to grow, and grow it did, is now being asked to create income, and that's a very different job. During your working years, your portfolio is like a plane taking off. It has one goal: climb, build wealth, grow the account, and get as high as possible before retirement. But retirement is different. At some point, the job changes from climbing, getting up in the air, to landing. And landing a plane takes a pretty different plan than taking off. That also has to happen with your investment portfolio before you retire. Don't do this on the day you retire. Do this 5 years before you're going to retire. The investments that helped you grow your money may not be the same setup you want when you need the money to start creating income when it's time to land the plane. Now, at first glance, Jim feels like you should be fine. Remember, he needs $6,500 a month. He'll have $2,500 from Social Security, so he only needs $4,000 a month from the portfolio. And he goes, hey, I've got $1 million. I could draw $4,000 a month from it. That's not a big deal. It's going to turn into a real big deal. We'll come back to Jim in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about our other retiree. I told you it's the story of two. Let's talk about Tim. Tim's our other guy. He's the guy that shifted his portfolio leading up into retirement to prepare to land the plane. So Tim's got the same thing. He's got $1 million and the same Social Security check of $2,500 a month. But 5 years out from retirement, Tim decided to do some planning, and he restructured his portfolio to get ready for retirement. We always want to start with our income gap. In this case, we know that's $4,000 a month. That's how much money he's got to get from the portfolio. And so the first question is, do we need or want to close that up a little bit? If Tim wanted to, he could use something like an annuity here to create additional guaranteed monthly income to reduce that gap. He would benefit from that, but it's not necessary, and he decides against it. And so we're keeping that $4,000 income gap. Now we need to build our buckets. Remember, different money gets different jobs in retirement, and he's hiring for those jobs right now, 5 years before he retires. Now, step number one, bucket number one, is his cash reserve and buffer between him and the market. We settle on 2 years worth of cash here. So we're looking at 24 months times the $4,000 per month that he needs. That's $96,000 into bucket number one. This is money he can readily use to fill that income gap, as well as provide a buffer from his day-to-day and his future growth money. Remember, part of building these buckets is that we don't want one big pot of money in retirement, because if that's what we have and the market drops, you start making those life decisions at the grocery store and the gas pump, and nobody wants a retirement full of that. Let's move on to bucket number two. This is his income portfolio. These are the income producing assets. Here, we want to complete our buffer of up to 10 years worth of money. Now, for these funds, we're going to need 8 years worth of buffer, since we got 2 from bucket number one. And that means we're going to need around $315,000 to fill this bucket. That leaves us with bucket three. This is our growth money. These are the stock market assets that we can now live with the volatility of these funds, because we know that even once Tim retires, he's got at least 10 years before he's going to need to touch this money. Remember, we don't dislike the stock market. You just can't have all your eggs in that basket as you approach retirement, because if you do, you open yourself up to a lot of different risks, which we're going to see in a minute when we go back to our first guy. So for Tim, bucket three, he's got $400,000 of future growth money, plus he's got those 5 additional years of growth before he even gets to retirement. This future growth money can be used once he gets to retirement for the fun stuff, the bucket list, as well as protection from inflation in the long term, but it's doing it in a place where it's not threatening his ability to pay his day-to-day bills in retirement. Now let's see where the rubber meets the road as they arrive at retirement. Remember, Jim is sitting with 88% of his money allocated to stock. Now, you can pick lots of times in history where this is going to turn out poorly, but I went with the dot-com crash. We're using the same data as before, but now let's assume that we get a run of dot-com type of returns early in his retirement. Here's what it would look like. For Jim, our guy that took his pre-retirement growth-oriented portfolio into retirement, I modeled out what would happen. Same portfolio makeup, now using the market return starting in the year 2000 and taking out his $4,000 a month that he needs to live on in retirement, adjusted for inflation each year. So right out of the gate, it's not great, but look at where he's sitting by year number 3. Remember, on the day he retired, he had $1 million. After 3 years of dot-com returns, minus his withdrawals to live on, he's now lost or spent nearly half his money 3 years in. Could you imagine what that feels like? My guess is he would have gone back to work at that point. He would have unretired. I've told the story multiple times here on the channel, but I had a coworker that did exactly that. She retired in 2000, and by 2003, she was back at work because her retirement wasn't sustainable, because she carried a growth portfolio into retirement. Now, by this point for Jim, $558,000 left. Look at his distribution. He's taking more than 9% per year from the portfolio. As they say, the hay is in the barn here. 9% isn't sustainable long term, and it will be nearly impossible for him to dig out of that hole as long as he's still drawing money from the portfolio, regardless of what the market does. Now, in our hypothetical scenario here, if we continue to play history out, let's look at those next years, and you can see that even though the market bounced back in real life, he didn't, because he had been taking withdrawals. So he now had less assets to dig back out of the hole with, because he had sold a lot of them to meet his income day-to-day needs. This is why we bucket money out, because that third bucket money for our other retiree, Tim, he hasn't needed to touch it, which means that it can still stay future money even when the market drops and things don't cooperate. He might not like it, but he can wait out the recovery just like he did when he was working, because he's not touching that money. He's been able to keep it future money. It's a completely different retirement for him. He's not headed back to work. He's not staying awake at night thinking that he made a huge mistake. Retirement is complicated, because if you just ask, hey, can I retire with $1 million? Both of these people might think that they would get a similar answer. An online calculator might be like, oh yeah, you'll probably be all right. A rule of thumb might say you're in the ballpark, but that does not mean that both of these people would experience the same retirement. Because retirement comfort is not just about whether the money will technically last. It's about living through the inevitable ups and downs and knowing that you've built a plan that can weather them. Now, if you're watching this video and you're within 5 years of retirement and you've still got a growth portfolio, you can fix it. You can do this yourself. I got a whole channel here dedicated to helping people just like you figure out how to create a retirement paycheck that's sustainable, a plan that will actually work for your retirement. Now, if you're watching the videos and you want somebody to help you do it, I can help with that too. Check the link below and set up a time to chat. I'll explain how we use something called the ClearVision retirement plan to do this for you. And if you want to see another example of how this sort of stuff works in real life, I'll link a video right here where I walk through how to turn retirement savings into that actual income plan. It's a deeper dive on a 3-bucket video that I talked about earlier here. I'll see you over there on the other side.